Okay, good morning. Day 112 here, 6 a.m. and I'm on the trail. Here's the little spring that got water. Last reliable water source till we get to the first plateau. Only got down like 65 last night. So I thought I was gonna have a camp spot to myself, but then two other people came in. One probably like 8:30. The other didn't come in until like 9:30 or 10. It was well after dark. Got a big story that today's going to be the long climb up. You got to go from like 1,400 feet up to like 6,500 feet. So trying to get an early start before it gets hot. Because it was still like 87 when I went to bed at 7:30 last night. And it was like 95 at 6:30. So it's warm down here. So we'll make our way up. The knee is doing okay. I mean, it's very sore, but I think it just bruised it really bad. I think the joint feels okay. So we'll see how it does on the climb. All right, see you out at the trail. 407, the morning panorama. You've seen down there is the Klamath River. It goes through Side Valley. About 2 miles up the trail. Okay, there's a little shot of Side Valley. We're a couple thousand feet up, probably 3 or 4, something like that. Nice little picturesque valley. But it's hot down there. Okay, so now we got some semi-flat trail. Finished the majority of the climb. I mean, still go up and down for a few miles. And still not at the peak yet, but I've probably done about 4,000 feet of the climb. So that feels good. Get that out of the way. Now it's kind of undulating up and down, but it is beautiful up here. Okay, this is a Kangaroo Spring here. I have a giant pool of water, but it's cold and clear, so filling up. Just in this beautiful meadow, surrounded by these mountains. Okay, so at lunch, I was trying to figure out if I was going to go 8.5 miles to one campsite or 12.5 to the next. I wanted to go to the 12.5 because there's a spring there, and that'd be like a 25 or 26 mile day, which would be good to, set myself up for getting to Ashland early in the day instead of late in the day. I knew that'd be pushing it. I was looking at the elevation, it was going to be like an 8,000 foot day, so that'd be a pretty big record. But I was willing to give it a shot. Then leaving lunch, the clouds parted and the sun was hot. And then start working through this burn zone, so it's zero shade, hot, going uphill. And then we just had a 2-mile stretch. That's probably the worst terrain I've seen on the PCT. It was just blowdown after blowdown after blowdown. I mean, there are sections you can go 5 or 8 feet without having to crawl over a blowdown. And that just saps the energy out of you. And this is after we did the monster climb out of Side Valley. So I got up early, did the big climb. We already got some decent miles on. And then in the hot sun with no shade, you're just crawling over these blowdowns. And this thing, burned probably 10, 15 years ago. Hasn't been touched since. So it's not just all the blowdowns, and going uphill, but in sections you got all this brush. That's like knee high to shoulder high. And that's obscuring the trail, and you have to bushwhack because it hasn't been cleared. And that 2 miles just sapped the energy on me. I mean, you're just wondering, why am I even on the PCT going through terrain like this? I mean, it clearly no one's touched this in 10 years, 12 years, something like that. And it's just, I mean, besides being hard and demoralizing, I mean, it's dangerous. I mean, I've already fallen on numerous blowdowns. That's how I twist my knee, and it's just like a war zone there. I'm not in a good spot right now. Clearly, I'm not going that 12.5 miles. I was just wondering if I can make it to the 8.5. I think I can, as long as the trail is a little bit better than what it has been. I need water, and about, I took water to get me 12.5 miles, but I've sucked so much of it down. I gotta go off trail and get water here in about a mile, and then I'll have about another 3 miles after that to get to my backup campsite. So 4 miles. Normally I can do that like in an hour and a half. I'm hoping I can do that in 2 now because it's like 4 o'clock. But those last couple of miles took a long time, so they were tough. All right, see you down the trail. Day 112 closeout. I'm exhausted. It's a long day. Did about just under 22 miles, but did over 7,000 feet of gain. So that big climb out of Side Valley was like 4,500 to 5,000. Did all that by like 10 o'clock. And it wasn't too bad before lunch, but then after lunch, it got real hot. I was hiking through a burn zone, so it was real exposed, real hot, uphill, and then had about 2 to 3 miles of some of the worst blowdowns I've seen on the trail. So that just completely exhausted me. So I was hoping to do like 25 today, but after all that climbing and the blowdowns, I'm just spent. So pulled up a little bit short, found a nice little spot, and we'll tackle the rest tomorrow. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, good morning. Day one, I think it's 113, I think. 113 or 114, I think it's 113. Anyway, got good night's sleep. Weather was great. It got down to 51, so perfect sleeping weather. Woke up naturally today to a couple birds and the wind. So real pleasant evening. Got some good sleep, got some good eats. So I'm ready to hit the trail. It's like 6:06. And just ready to start hitting the trail. Chris, guy from Switzerland, shared the camp with me. Real nice guy. He's 69. He started last year and he's trying to finish up this year. So real good guy. And just try and do as many miles as we can today. Like to do 25, but as we saw yesterday, it all depends on the terrain. If it's a moderate up and downs, I think I got about almost 4,000 feet, 3 to 4, about 35 to 4, I'd say. But if the trail's good, I should be able to do it. If there's a lot of blowdowns like yesterday, it might be rough. So we'll see what the trail, I'll take what the trail gives us, and we'll see how it unfolds. All right, see you down the trail. 6:20, a little bit breezy out. Feels great. Just seeing the remnants of the sunrise coming up over the mountains. Should be a nice day, as long as it stays cool. See how long till it heats up. It's called Alex Hole Spring. The springs, while there are enough of them around, they're getting harder and harder to collect from. This one has a pipe coming out of the ground, but there's no water out of the pipe. It's just seep out of the ground. There's decent flow, but you just gotta collect off that rock there. So luckily you can put your C-neck bottle, and after a minute or two, you can get maybe a liter. So it's not like some of the other springs where it's just gushing out, but you get what you need. So we'll see as the season gets later and later, some of these start drying up. So you gotta be mindful of where your water sources are and how much water you're carrying. But for now, we're doing okay. See you down the trail. We're getting close. Look at that. We're gonna bust. A few more miles. Well, we should have hit it later this afternoon. Can't wait. In the morning panorama. Could use a rest doing this climb. And just passed another southbounder. So people starting the Canadian border, they start late. They start like June or July before the snow melts in Washington. So they're just coming through right now. And we're starting to cross paths. Come on, Will. Give me some more cowbell. Check out, it's all the layers of the mountains out there. That is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, kind of like 7 of them. There's a pretty good sized peak out there, not sure what that is. Have to look it up. It's beautiful. We've been alternating between, this looks like grazing land here. Saw some cows a while back. They just eat everything in sight. Looks like, down there, they've been grazing. Up here, you got some flowers, so they probably haven't made it up here yet. But we just alternate between this grazing land and then going through patches of forest. Several miles, just alternates back and forth. But it's just a beautiful view of the rolling mountains. The way the fog, or I don't know what that is, fog, smoke, whatever, just gets lit up by the sun. Just gorgeous. It wasn't really paying attention, but I basically did 10 by 10. I think I'm at 9.9 miles right now. And got here just a couple minutes after 10. Did some of the uphill in the first few miles, then it was downhill since then. I'm just at the start of the big climb for the day. It's like, 2,000 or 2,500 feet over several miles. But we'll get to break it up. There's a Donamore cabin that looks like a pretty good stop a couple miles up the trail, about 500 feet up in gain. Might be a little early to eat lunch there. I was gonna eat lunch, but I'm a little bit faster than that for today. And then, a few miles past that is the California-Oregon border. We'll have a couple stops on the way up. So we'll see on up the trail. Okay, so just off the trail and a few miles south of the Oregon border is the Donamore cabin. Kind of a historic site. Some locals have been fixing it up and stabilizing it. So you got the cabin, you got an outhouse back there that supposedly is stocked with TP. Yeah, nice little picnic table, and I'm stopping by here. There's a spring just up a path here, so I'll get some water and get me up over the hill. But it's kind of a nice cabin. It's like this version was built in 1935, called the Donamore cabin. There are a few settlers before that didn't quite make it, had different versions of the cabin. This little porch and sitting area, I love a chair to sit down and relax in. Inside of the cabin, still needs a little work, but there's a few cots. Some PCT hikers have spent the night here. I guess there is also kind of a history of the cabin here. And their efforts to to rebuild it. Oh, like I said, nice little side stop. We'll see you on up the trail. Okay, there she is. It's the California-Oregon border. Right here's California. Right here's Oregon. Never thought I'd make it. You can see we got less than 1,000 miles to Canada, I just realized. California is one long ass state. Almost 1,700 miles. Took, what, 113 days to make it this far? 1,700 miles is a long way. So, luckily, I'm in the triple digits to get to the end. That's going to be nice. Also got a trail register here. Everyone crossing over. I think I'm the 15th hiker today to cross over. Wow. All right, it's just before noon. I think I'm going to have my first lunch just down the trail here. And my first lunch in Oregon. How about that? All right, we'll see you down the trail. As we say goodbye to California, I wonder if we're going to say goodbye to the awesome weather. I was just thinking about it on the way up. So for that 1,700 miles and 113 days, I saw a grand total of 20 minutes of rain. Wonder how we'll do in Oregon and Washington. Something tells me I might see a little bit more rain than that. But we'll see. So far, so good. Been here 5 minutes and no rain in sight. Picture blue skies. So we'll see how long that keeps up. Supposedly the terrain flattens out a little bit in Oregon. You can pick things up, but there's a bunch of fires going on. So I think that's why I'm going to take a zero down Ashland starting tomorrow. I should get in there in the afternoon, and the next day will be my 0 day. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the fires, because I think the trail's open for about 100 miles to Crater Lake, but after Crater Lake, it's closed for 100 miles due to various fires. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do to get around the fires. But for now, I got clear trail. I almost missed this. About 2 weeks ago, there was a fire just west of here. You know, as that was growing in size, the PCTA was recommending an alternate route around here, doing a road walk. I don't know if they actually closed this section of trail or not, but they were getting close to. Luckily, the firefighters got out in front of the fire and put it out pretty quick. I think it only got to 30 or 40 acres. So they were able to lift that warning pretty quick. But I was going to be bummed if I hiked all this way, couldn't walk across the border to Oregon. Just wouldn't be the same doing a road walk, you know, a few miles east of here. Or worse yet, a lot of people are just skipping from, like, I don't know, Shasta all the way up to Ashland, Oregon. That's what Blackout did. So a bunch of people just drove across the border and skipped, you know, 160, 200 miles of the trail because of the fires that are brewing. I only had that 18-mile detour or 18-mile section I had to skip so far. So far I count myself lucky. We'll see how it goes going up the trail. It looks like those fires are pretty big. I don't think they're going to get out in front of those, but they got another week or so before I get there. So we'll see. I'll do some more research probably in 2 days. Okay, we'll see you on the trail from Oregon. Yeehaw. The first panorama of the Oregon countryside. Just beautiful as California. I'm not sure what that is out there. If it comes through or not. It's a pretty big mountain. Snow up top. So, guessing, I don't know. Is that Mount Adams or Mount Hood or something like that? It's one of the volcano and the Cascade chains. I gotta look at a map when I get a chance and learn my mountain, but I'm guessing it's one of those. Sand down the trail. Check this out. This is sheep spring pipe just sticking in the ground. Look at that flow. That's like the best I've seen in weeks. And that's just beautiful cold spring water from the right of the ground. Can't get any better than that. The last few I've had to like sit there and scoop it out. Get a lot of dirt and organic material in there, but this is just flowing. That's a thing of beauty right there. Sheep Spring, about 4 miles north of the Oregon border. A little afternoon panorama, a bit after 2. Everything's looking good. It feels so good to be in Oregon. End of day 13, 113. Really good day. Trail was awesome. So different from yesterday. It's just nice smooth sailing pretty much all day. Had a number of blowdowns, but the trail itself is just great and nowhere near the blowdowns of yesterday. I did a nice easy 25 miles, just under 25, but took my time. Took some breaks and just went a nice steady pace. And it was just real enjoyable. Got a little bit warm on the uphill climb this afternoon, but nothing like yesterday. So it's a real good day overall. Most notably, crossed over to Oregon. So I'm in a new state, finally. California was really long. So I crossed over on, I think it's like exactly 15 weeks in a day. Because I started on Monday and today's Monday. So it took 15 weeks to get through California. It's a long time. Also crossed over on my dad's birthday. So happy birthday, Dad. I know you're rooting me on. Talked to you a few days ago. So sorry I can't be there, but happy birthday. 92 years old. Pretty impressive. He's still going strong. Let's see what else. We passed 1,700 miles just over the border. I almost went a little bit farther because I still got 15 miles to get into the trailhead to go to Ashland for tomorrow. So that should be nice and easy. It's like 3 miles up and then 12 miles downhill. But I think the hotel I'm staying at picks you up. They do their main shuttles like 10 to 11. So I don't think I can do 15 miles by 11 o'clock, even downhill. So I'll probably have to give them a call and arrange something. Not sure how long I'll have to wait. I might have to hitch in there, but I didn't feel like doing a 3 mile uphill at the end of the day, and it was getting a little warm today. It'll be nice and cool tomorrow, so I should be a real good position to do that. Also looking at some deer off in the distance, and they're acting the way deer should. As soon as I kind of walk in their direction, they scamper away. Unlike those deer a couple nights ago, where they had no fear. These look like normal deer. The knee is improving. Feels stronger than yesterday. Still a little sore, and I kneel on it. It's not 100%, but I'd say it's probably 85, 90, and it's improving. So feel real good about that. I'm going to take a 0 day in Ashland day after tomorrow. I'll be 15 miles into Ashland, and then the next day I'm not going to do any trail miles. You got to research about the fires in Oregon and where I'm going and how I'm going to get there. So it'll be good to give my body some rest. It's been a long day since I had a 0 day. Real good day overall, and we'll see you tomorrow.